Things about ants you never knew. Ants are eusocial insects of the family Formicidae and, along with the related wasps and bees, belong to the order Hymenoptera. Ants evolved from vespoid wasp ancestors in the Cretaceous period. More than 13,800 of an estimated total of 22,000 species have been classified. They are easily identified by their geniculate, elbowed, antennae and the distinctive node-like structure that forms their slender waists. Ants form colonies that range in size from a few dozen predatory individuals living in small natural cavities to highly organized colonies that may occupy large territories and consist of millions of individuals. Larger colonies consist of various castes of sterile, wingless females, most of which are workers, ergates, as well as soldiers, dynagates, and other specialized groups. Nearly all ant colonies also have some fertile males called drones, and one or more fertile females called queens, gynes. The colonies are described as superorganisms because the ants appear to operate as a unified entity, collectively working together to support the colony. Ants have colonized almost every landmass on Earth. The only places lacking indigenous ants are Antarctica and a few remote or inhospitable islands. Ants thrive in most ecosystems and may form 15 to 25% of the terrestrial animal biomass. Their success in so many environments has been attributed to their social organization and their ability to modify habitats, tap resources, and defend themselves. Their long co-evolution with other species has led to mimetic, commensal, parasitic, and mutualistic relationships. A little more about this later. Ant societies have division of labor, communication between individuals, and an ability to solve complex problems. These parallels with human societies have long been an inspiration and subject of study. Many human cultures make use of ants in cuisine, medication, and rites. Some species are valued in their role as biological pest control agents. Their ability to exploit resources may bring ants into conflict with humans, however, as they can damage crops and invade buildings. Some species, such as the red imported fire ant, Solenopsis invicta, of South America, are regarded as invasive species in other parts of the world, establishing themselves in areas where they have been introduced accidentally. 10 interesting facts about ants. Ants are one of the most common pests encountered in homes and businesses. There are more than 10,000 known ant species found across the globe, and are a subject of constant study by entomologists and scientists. Ants are truly fascinating creatures. Don't believe us? Here are 10 facts about ants that will definitely change your mind. 1. Ants have superhuman strength. Yes, you did read that correctly. Ants are ridiculously strong. They have the ability to carry between 10 and 50 times their own body weight. The amount an ant can carry depends on the species. The Asian weaver ant, for example, can lift 100 times its own mass. Why are ants strong? This amazing strength is a result of their small size, believe it or not. The Arizona State University reports that because of their small size, ants' muscles have a greater cross-sectional area relative to their body size compared to larger animals. This means they can produce more force. 2. Ants don't have lungs. Due to their small size, ants don't have the room to accommodate a complex respiratory system such as ours. Instead, they have their own ways of respiration to help transport oxygen around their bodies. How do ants breathe? Ants breathe in oxygen through spiracles, which are a series of holes located on the sides of their bodies. The spiracles are connected through a network of tubes which help distribute the oxygen to almost every cell in their body. An ant's movement helps the oxygen to circulate through the tubes, with the released carbon dioxide exiting through said tubes as well. 3. Ants don't have ears. Unlike other pests such as rats, ants don't have ears. But that doesn't mean they are deaf. How do ants hear? Ants use vibrations to hear, using them when foraging for food or as an alarm signal. Ants use the vibrations in the ground to hear by picking them up in the subgenual organ, which is located below the knee. 4. There are a lot of ants in the world. The phrase "a lot" is an understatement when describing the amount of ants currently in existence. To put things in perspective, it is estimated that there are around 1 million ants for every one human in the world. Ants have pretty much conquered the entire globe. With the exception of Antarctica, the Arctic, and a handful of islands, there is at least one native species of ant found on every continent. Entomologist Ted Schultz says that ant presence across the world is arguably the greatest success story in the history of terrestrial metazoa. 5. Some ant species are asexual. Rather than going down the traditional route of reproduction, some Amazonian ants have taken to reproduce via cloning. It is reported that the queen ants copy themselves to genetically produce daughters, resulting in a colony with no male ants. 6. Ants are farmers. You may be thinking, what? But it's true, besides humans, ants are the only creatures that will farm other creatures. Just like we raise cows, sheep, pigs, chicken, and fish in order to obtain a food source, ants will do the same with other insects. The most common occurrence of this is with aphids. Ants will protect aphids from natural predators, and shelter them in their nests from heavy rain showers in order to gain a constant supply of honeydew. 7. Ants have 2 stomachs. That's right, ants have 2 stomachs, and it's not because they are greedy. One of their stomachs is for holding food for their own consumption, and the second one is to hold food to be shared with other ants. This process is known as trophallaxis and allows an ant colony to work extremely efficiently. It allows for the ants who forage for food to feed those which stay behind and tend to the duties of the queen and the nest. 8. Ants can swim. Well, not all ants can swim, it depends on the species. They haven't mastered the butterfly or breaststroke yet, but they do have the ability to survive in water by using their own version of the doggy paddle, and can also float for long periods of time. To put it simply, ants are amazing survivors. Not only can they hold their breath underwater for long periods of time, but they will also build lifeboats to survive floods. It can be especially dangerous when fire ants do this. 9. Ants are slave makers. This may sound strange, but hear us out. Some species of ant, such as the Polyergus lucidus, are known as slave-making ants. They invade neighboring ant colonies, capturing its inhabitants and forcing them to work for them. This process is known as slave raiding. Slave-making ants are specialized to parasite a single species or a group of related species which are often close relatives to them. The captured ants will work as if they were in their own colony, while the slave-making workers will only concentrate on replenishing their labor force. Slave-making ants come in 2 formats: permanent social parasites and facultative slave makers. Permanent social parasites rely on the enslaved ants throughout their lives, whilst facultative slave makers do not. 10. Ants are as old as dinosaurs. A study from Harvard and Florida State Universities discovered that ants first rose during the Cretaceous period around 130 million years ago. They have survived the Cretaceous Tertiary (KT) extinction that killed the dinosaurs as well as the Ice Age. 13 most dangerous ants in the world. Ants are most commonly found in most parts of the world. They have been around for over 100 million years, and there are more than 12,000 types of ants that live on every continent except Antarctica. Some people love them, while others hate them because they can be a nuisance to gardens and crops with their eating habits. Some of these ants are dangerous even. This can either be because of their venom, or because of their ability to spread diseases. 1. Bulldog ants. The most dangerous ants in the world, according to Guinness World Records, are called bulldog ants. They live in Australia, Tasmania, and New Zealand, where most people will never encounter them. The bulldog ant is responsible for the death of 3 people since 1936. 2. Siafu ants. These insects live in Central and East Africa, however, they can be found across most of sub-Saharan Africa. They are known for their extremely painful stings that cause anaphylactic shock, which is often fatal to humans. Despite the pain associated with being bitten by a siafu ant, they are most dangerous to livestock such as cattle and goats. 3. Pony ants. Pony ants are known for being extremely aggressive. However, they are also called cow killer ants because the sting of these insects is so powerful that it was believed it could kill a cow. They belong to the genus Myrmecea and most likely originated from Australia. This species has one of the most toxic venoms among all stinging insects. It contains 2 peptides named mypacidin B, which induces spasms in mammal nerve cells, and myotoxin that facilitates the destruction of muscle tissue. 4. Fire ants. Fire ants are very dangerous because they can sting multiple times. They have a toxic venom that is most harmful to allergic individuals or humans who are hypersensitive, which includes infants and the elderly. It's important to know what fire ants look like so you can identify them before getting stung. 5. Bullet ants. Some of the most dangerous ants in the world are bullet ants. This is because these types of ants have their own unique way to attack people. When a bullet ant bites, it feels like being shot by a gun, hence the name. 6. Florida harvester ant. The Florida harvester ant is one of the types of ants that'll invade your home. This is dangerous to trees and to wooden structures, but they don't, usually, pose a threat to your health. Their bites can be extremely painful though, as they are equipped with formic acid, that they can spray into a bite wound after the initial bite. It's best not to disturb this type of ant if you see them in or around your home, because they don't have nests but rather forage for food throughout different areas. This means that they may follow certain trails back to where they came from instead of attacking the site, which makes them even more difficult to deal with when trying to remove an infestation at its source location. On average, most colonies range between 5,000 and 99,000 insects, most commonly found in the southernmost regions of Florida. These ants are most active during the spring and summer months but can be seen all year round depending on weather conditions, humidity levels, rainfall rates, etc. 7. Bullhorn acacia ant. Bullhorn acacia ants are omnivorous, meaning they eat both plant and animal matter. These most dangerous ants forage in small groups at night but can also be found during the day when their nests are disturbed. They will sting humans if threatened or stepped on with enough force to cause severe pain, swelling, fever, and vomiting. When stung by bullhorned ants, most people feel like they have been burnt with fire, which has led many to call these most dangerous ants fire ants. Their venom is similar to wasp venom, so it causes a lot of itching as well. 8. Green tree ants. These ants are most commonly found in Australia. They love the rainforest canopy most of all, where their colonies tend to be quite big with thousands of workers living in them. Their venom is strong enough to cause dizziness, but it's not deadly for humans most oftentimes. However, they do like biting, which can lead to infections if ant saliva gets into open wounds or scratches that break the skin surface. If you're allergic, then it could potentially result in anaphylactic shock, so beware when these little guys come about. 9. Jack jumper ants. The jack jumper ants are also among the most dangerous ants. They can grow up to an inch long, but their most distinguishing feature is the jump they do when provoked or chasing after prey. This species of ant lives in colonies with multiple queens and nests that can be several feet deep. The jack jumper ants will eat anything smaller than him, including other insects as well as small mammals like lizards or mice if it gets too close to its nest. These creatures have strong pincers which give off a painful bite for any unsuspecting human who might get caught between them without knowing what they're doing there. Jack jumper ants are the most dangerous ants because they attack humans by surprise and have very powerful jaws made even more deadly because most humans don't know what they're doing there. 10. Red harvester ants. Found in desert areas, these creatures are known for their painful bites which can cause anaphylactic shock and even death to some victims. They have one of the most powerful stings ever recorded on Earth, with reports saying that it feels like being hit by a bullet or burning fire. The red harvester ant has long pincers with 2 stingers attached underneath them near its mouthparts. These insects tend to bite humans when they feel threatened, but not if you leave them alone. 11. Army ants. Army ants can be found all over Africa, Asia, Australia, and most of America. Army ants don't build nests as most other species do. They simply lay their eggs anywhere that is dry with enough room for them to hatch. 12. Safari ants. One of the most venomous ants in the world is without a doubt African safari ants. These black and red creatures emit low levels of toxins that cause paralysis and, in most cases, death within hours after being stung by them. The average lifespan for these ants is only about 6 months to 1 year, but they do have an interesting defense mechanism against predators such as lions or other bigger animals attacking it. When threatened, the ant raises its abdomen towards the predator, which causes yellow liquid from their glands to squirt out into eyes, causing temporary blindness of attackers. This gives them enough time to escape before losing their life. 13. Pharaoh ants. Amongst the top contenders, we have pharaoh ants. These little insects can be found almost everywhere. They usually live indoors and love to eat sweets like honeydew melons or fruit juice because they have an extremely sweet tooth for this type of food. While pharaoh ants aren't dangerous because of their bites, they're incredibly good at spreading diseases and pathogens compared to other ants. This makes them especially dangerous at hospitals. Some of the most dangerous ants include bullet ants because their sting is said to be more painful than a gunshot, and siafu ants, which also have a very venomous sting. If you ever find yourself in a dangerous situation where an ant bit you, there are plenty of things to consider. Some ants have venom that can be very harmful, and the most important thing is to figure out which kind of ant it was. Knowing what kind of ant has bitten you will help your doctor with treatment options. There is no need for panic when being attacked by a dangerous insect. Most bites from insects do not lead to death, so getting medical attention quickly enough should stop any possible complications from occurring. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, comment and share, and look out for more videos like these.